This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks. Racer Radio, FM 96.1. AM 1170.
The answer.
That was our girl, Britney Sandoval.
Yes.
And this is Racer Radio. Well, Britney,
Yes,
what
sir.
have you done this weekend? And by the way, I don't know why I threw that in there, but as a school teacher, I'm sure you appreciate it. She cringes. Who you got?
Well, we have a gentleman to my left who has two-wheel ties to the asphalt and two-wheel ties to the dirt. So I think he's got a lot to offer. He's been around the country as well. Please welcome Kyle Ferris.
Hey, Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Had a nice ride in, so,
Yay!
you know.
Came down. Tell the listeners what you rode down from Hemet on.
Oh, it was a Ducati 1098S.
Oh,
Right?
Did you go up in the mountains or did you come down 15?
Well, I wanted to go through Fullerton, but not Fullerton, but oh man, I can't remember the city right there,
Don't you?
but Camp Pendleton area.
Oh, yeah.
But because there's just some nice twisties, but
Yeah.
you can't get through the base
Yeah.
unless you have a military ID,
Yeah.
so you can't get through. They got some nice twisties.
They don't,
Oh, my
they
gosh.
don't?
Yeah.
Right now, my dad is putting a route home for you. Dad,
Yeah.
text me his route home back to Hemet.
There you go.
Yeah, because there's some really nice. Have you ridden much at all down here?
No, not. I mean, I have some ties to the road, obviously, but
Yeah.
actual on-road riding was
Uh-huh.
always a kind of a no-go for us when we were younger, just because it was always so much more dangerous in our minds than racing on the road.
But you
On-
can't own a Ducati without taking some twisties.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
And
think you have
East-
to write that in
and
a
East-
contract when you
East
buy a
County,
Ducati.
East County is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. You got to go up to the Lagunas.
Yeah.
Sunrise
But-
Highway, my favorite.
But since you're a Ducati enthusiast, I have to tell you, I have some friends that I won't even mention the name of the motorcycle shop. And he says, hey, man, you want to go duck hunting with us this weekend?
Ducati duck?
No, he said,
Okay.
he says, do you want to go duck hunting with us this weekend? And I says, well, I'm not really into ducks. He goes, you'll like this hunt. I go, where is it? He says, Willow Springs.
Oh, yeah.
jeez.
He says, we're going to go up and see how many Ducatis we can catch. And that's what his duck hunting was
Oh,
all
yeah.
about.
I grew up with a picture at my house.
But doesn't everybody look up to a Ducati that way? Name me another manufacturer that has that mark.
MV Augusta.
I knew you were going to say that.
He had an answer.
No, you know what? And I said he's going to say Augusta. I know he's going to say Augusta because, yeah, you're right.
That one's just a little bit higher, I think. You don't see as many. Ducati's kind of done a good job of marketing
yeah.
themselves and keeping that level, kind of like your Porsche or whatever, but it's more of an everyday kind of, bike nowadays.
The Augusta's a Rolex.
Yeah,
Let's just keep it. So what do you race? Where do you race? What do you race?
Well, currently I'm racing CR450, doing flat track locally out of Paris, the Southern California Flat Track Association.
On the big track.
No, actually, it's a short track.
Can you imagine being on the big track?
Well, you mentioned Willow Springs. We just came back
Did you?
actually from racing out at Willow Springs. It's a 3/8 mile.
Oh, the streets?
Yeah,
Or
just
the-
on the other side of the streets is the dirt track.
Oh, God, you're in
Yeah.
dirt. Yeah, exactly.
So we did that one, and that was that's the first time I've ever been on that big of a track, and that's a whole nother, and it's a loose like
Ooh.
type track, and
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's a lot of fun to get in there.
Do flat track, what you're doing, the Southern California Flat Track Association, because I don't know much. This is ignorant speaking. Is it banked ever, or are they always no bank?
So it depends.
Oh, okay, it does depend.
It depends on the track, and it depends on where you went. So like Willow Springs turn 1 and 2, and I'm sure just like in circle track racing, it's 1 and 2. It's not all one corner.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2, and then that one it had a little degree of banking, but not a lot. And then 3 and 4 was just this massive wall,
Oh.
and so you could just kind of send it. And it was just wide, so you could just send it in high, mid, low, carry the speed, throw the throttle on, and just spin that back tire, shooting,
shoot
you know,
yourself out of
roost
the
out,
curl.
you know, and you go high, low, and shoot right down into the
So
the
more
straight.
forgiving of a track.
Much more forgiving.
Yeah.
Now you have two different surface types. So you have your pea gravelly, that kind of stuff, or you have what they call blue groove. And blue groove is kind of more of a clay style surface where the tires actually burn rubber and leave rubber on the ground. So it actually, you know.
Which you prefer?
Oh, that's a hard one. I
Well,
love.
that's like saying, what's your favorite track, right?
Yeah, blue groove is so much fun just because it's a lot closer to the road racing side of things, and that's
And
where
you
my
have
roots are.
experience, yeah.
Is road racing, so it's a lot more. A lot more of my roots come from that, so it's a lot easier for me to race a blue groove. But coming down and racing these cushion tracks, which Southern California has a lot of,
Right.
It's just a lot of fun to just let the bike eat and just open up the throttle and let it just spin up and kind of get squirrely and loose and just kind of play around like that.
You have to be okay with squirrely and loose, I
Well,
would imagine, for flat track.
To ride a flat
To
track.
ride
bike,
flat
yeah,
track.
yeah.
That's like on the edge.
Well,
of-
I don't know how old you are, but did you know we used to run the Del Mar Mile?
Yes, I wish
Did
they'd
you-
bring it back.
Nobody has tried harder than this town of motorcyclists. You know, they came up with the excuse when they put the new turf down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then it ended up killing I don't know how many horses, so they took all that back up. But yeah, it's going to just take a promoter. You know, I was there when Willie G was there, and I was there. Oh my God, I miss it so
Yeah,
much.
my dad
My
and
dad
his
used to
buddies.
flat track
Oh,
for
okay.
Harley Davidson.
Yeah, very cool.
Used to call him Iron Wrist because he never let up when he going into the turn. Never, ever, 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 ever. He was a bull in a china closet.
Well, and that's the funny thing with flat track. Everybody, you know, it looks at, oh, that's so easy. Just turning left.
That's because those who are good make it look easy.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's like when you watch the chef on TV and he or she puts together a meal.
Yeah. It's
Oh, well,
like that
hell,
for
I'm going to go
anything.
do that.
Yeah,
You ain't coming
not-
anywhere close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do asphalt as well.
Yeah. So I grew up road racing, or racing on closed courses on the road, obviously, and got into it when I was about 12. Started on some YSR 50s,
Sure.
little mini bike type stuff from Japan, 2-stroke motors, and just kind of grew from there. Was
Parents pushing you?
not, you know, they were supportive,
But they
but
didn't.
not like it was always the.
So it wasn't like your dad was an ex-racer or your mom was an
not in
ex-racer.
those terms. No, I mean
Or
he
not at
did
that
race.
level.
He did, yeah, exactly.
Not
They-
that
he was
level.
an enthusiast. He did some racing.
Well,
and
if
stuff
he
like
did
that.
it, then he can't say to you no.
Right, exactly.
Nah.
No,
yeah.
and it was very much pushed. I mean, obviously, we got started riding dirt bikes when we were 4 or 5, and all spent countless
Did your results
summers.
show something?
Yeah, we.
See, that's it. If you were coming in last every race, you might not be sitting here talking to me today.
this is true.
So
Yeah.
your talent, wherever you got it, and I have a sneaky feeling it was self-taught.
Somewhat, you know, it might be a little more of that. Not able to turn the brain off, or able to turn the brain off more so than think about things. So, you know, it just depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he has a reputation on the track. Do you think maybe?
No.
It probably not me.
I think he just loves it.
Everybody has a reputation on the
Yeah.
track.
Well, yeah, some
they
sort
know
of
if I can
reputation.
ride with you, near you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
and
and how many guys out there or girls out there you don't want to be anywhere near on the track?
Yes,
Everyone knows that.
Everybody knows that.
Oh,
Rider,
yeah.
driver. Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Looks like Mr. Delosio. I was just trying to get through to the kid in there who's playing.
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys. The
Beastie
first time I
Boys.
jumped out of a plane, they did a video, and this was my song of choice
When you
on the
jump
video.
out
Yeah,
of a
perfectly
perfectly good airplane.
For fun.
Easy. All right, we got a special guest in the house. Brittany was nice enough to have him in.
Kyle Ferris.
Yep.
I know him as a flat tracker. I contacted him under the context of flat tracker, and then I hear about your asphalt.
Mr. Versatility.
And it's not just him; it's the Ferris family. Because
Yeah.
if you don't mind talking
No,
about your
no, not at
wife,
all.
Erin's amazing as well because she's part of the Build, Train, and Ride program that Royal Enfield.
Oh, the Royal
is did.
Enfield.
She's part of that.
I didn't. Did we interview somebody from there?
Alyssa.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Alyssa,
yep.
she's doing the road. There's
Yep.
the road program and the flat track program, and Alyssa's doing the road. We found her through Dofo Winery
And we're not talking to her for the what reason?
because she's taking care of the kid at home. Kids.
Well,
Plural?
how many you got? 7, 8,
Well, I
9?
was under the impression we were doing this today, and then we were gonna get together the next
Don't
time.
you know
We'll have
girls
her
come
too.
first?
We'll have.
Oh,
I
you were
contact-
thrown out to see how ugly it was
Yeah,
going to be.
Yeah.
exactly. Test the
Ah,
waters.
Then if you come back all bruised, battered, and beat
Yeah.
up and no money in your pocket, she's not coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is so unique that because there's very few husband and wife teams that I'm aware of that race together.
Yeah, it's not
Name me
not
one.
for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Well, that too.
but actually in flat track there is a pretty good prominent one. Briar Bauman and
Texter.
Shayna Texter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
her brother.
And
Shayna's
her brother
yeah.
Corey, who's actually doing really well
and
this
then
year.
his son someday soon.
Cruz, yeah. Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
those guys. I mean, I haven't talked to Shayna very much. I've met Corey once, and he's a stand-up guy. He's pretty cool.
That's
Didn't
amazing.
really get to spend too much time with kids, but it was
Yeah.
at a race.
Well, so with that, what does your wife ride?
So she actually just finished building
that's right.
and racing the Royal Enfield INT 650 that they provided to her. So unfortunately, as you guys well know, with sponsors and all this stuff, there's certain things that you can and can't say at times.
Yeah.
That have to get cleared.
We'll
so
have her
I
back.
haven't been
Oh, I
cleared
see.
to discuss a lot,
We'll have
but I
her
mean we can talk
Okay,
about
all
our
right.
side of things.
No. I never like to dig.
I was just painting the whole picture. It's not
Yeah.
just
But
him.
no,
it's
I mean
in the
she
family.
grew up.
Well, I can ask you this: did you ride it?
No, I haven't actually set foot on it.
Have you seen it in person?
Yes,
It's
I have.
beautiful.
It's absolutely.
Is she going to
beautiful.
let you ride it?
That's another story. Yeah.
He
Boy,
might
that's
not
a-
be allowed.
That's a dinner and another bike. That's
yeah.
what that is.
No, and so she actually started about 3 years ago. When we started the whole flat track thing, she got into it just a few races after me, wanted to go try it. So we threw some 50-50 tires on her WR250 that we had at the time, and it was like a light bulb. I'm hooked. And so
No
we
kidding.
sold that thing, bought a KX250F, and got the suspension all set up for her. And she rode that for about a year and needed more power, wanted a 450.
Need
and
more power.
We decided
wow,
to do,
that make you proud husband.
Oh yeah, So then we made the jump to that and got her a 14 Sierra 450, and that's the beauty of flat track. I mean, you could be out there racing with a guy on an 06 or an 02.
Yeah.
And they might be just as competitive as you on a 2021.
Yeah.
Especially short track because you're not looking for top speeds.
No.
It's all whatever you can get out of the bike in those short little
Yeah.
stints.
And that's probably the hardest thing to do. Top end is one thing because you can use a dyno and
Yeah.
keep tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until it blows up.
Yep.
But when you're not going those kinds of speeds, man, the butt has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, you're looking for as much traction as you can possibly get coming out of the corner. So, a lot of guys try to weight the flywheel or get a heavy clutch basket or do something like that just to try to get that torque down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of just body language, trying to pick the bike up early, trying to get the throttle on as early as you possibly can. And that's, that's
the
the
beauty of
transitions.
it.
Oh, yeah. That's the art form, I guess you could talk about, you know.
We talked about banking already. What about the size? Does it vary like quarter mile, half mile?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
do you have a preference?
So again, longest I've been on now is 3/8. Unfortunately, Sacramento Mile used to do a amateur day, an amateur race day before the national event, and they're having that I think this October. September, October is the national that they're running up there, but they're not doing an amateur day, unfortunately. So those are really hard on the 450 bikes, though the singles, just because of the size of the track.
Oh, yeah.
And how how much you're on the top end on those tracks. But no, I like Paris is a great size. It's fun. It's fast. And that's I don't want to get it too wrong, but I want to say 8th mile. I think it's an 8th mile, maybe a little bit larger than an 8th mile. We came from Washington, and they've got a couple tracks up there. Castle Rock's about, I think, a little less than a quarter-mile track. Unfortunately, haven't gotten to ride there yet. They just kind of started after COVID and everything.
Yeah.
They're just starting to open up again. And then Rainier has a racetrack, their Cycle Bowl, which is where we kind of cut our teeth at the year prior to the whole shutdowns and all that stuff. And that one's an 8th mile, but that one's a Blue Groove.
And does it doesn't start Blue Groove, or does it work its way in? How like in the middle of a race?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
it's amazing.
If not sooner.
Yeah, it just depends on how hot the track is, how fast people are going,
how aggressive.
If you have carts there, because carts and actually quads too.
Okay.
They'll help you put down that little layer of
Yeah.
rubber you're looking for.
Yeah, the quads are actually they can obviously there's love-hate relationships and everything.
Where
And
they dig grooves or something?
no, just they can help or deteriorate a track a lot faster.
Us dwarf drivers
Depending on the way it's been
feel
prepped.
like
Yeah, exactly.
that,
Yeah, but that's the beauty of flat track. Going from the road to the dirt. The road is so consistent.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
You know where every pothole is. You know where every crack is in the asphalt.
Yeah.
Flat track, you go around one time and then you
It's
come back
different when
around
you-
and it's completely different.
I know.
Where'd
just
that boulder
trying-
come from?
Right?
Trying
Yeah.
to call the right setup, and then you think you do, and then it's like, well, then if the track continues to change, how do I change my riding or driving?
Right.
Yeah.
And and track conditions change from day to night.
Day to
Right.
night, start to finish.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is more of what I call a talent-heavy sport.
yeah.
Because once the bike is a 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 bike, okay? Anything you do to it that's going to be a little bit more than the next guy, in my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, is minuscule.
Yeah.
Because
So-
you're not going to change the bike's performance that much. But the driver or the rider, that's another animal.
Yeah.
You either got it or you don't.
No, and it's a big suspension's obviously your biggest thing that you're fighting. If you can't get the thing to turn or can't get it to go over the bumps well, then obviously you're not going to get set up well to go through the
True,
corners.
but I still think the rider has the best. I tell her all the time when I used to kart race, I'd take my cart to you and I'd give you my checkbook and say if I lose, it better be my fault.
Yeah.
So that is fine and good, and yeah, there's final tuning when you're doing it. But the rider, I mean, if you could be the greatest rider in the world, give you the most perfect bike, or you say you're the worst rider, we'll give you a perfect bike. Yeah, it's not going to look.
Yeah, no, it definitely takes, definitely has that rider has to be the one that can make that bike work.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a dog of a bike
No,
or the best bike in the world. It's got to be whether you have the ability to do it or not.
And then communicate with your crew chief. 'Cause
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and actually, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times you are the crew
I was
chief.
going to ask. I was thinking that. Are you the crew chief?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, these guys are guys that are just going out and they go out and they bring what they bring, and we might be doing gearing changes throughout the day or something like that, but you got to go out to the racetrack. You got to go out.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out.
Because
You
there's
gotta
nobody
think-
to turn around and say, oh, I guess there's nobody there to tell me
Yeah, there's no
to
spotters.
change the
there's-
tire pressure
Right.
or change a.
So
That's so
speaking of tires, just 2 weeks ago we had the Colley family in. There's Larry Colley, the dad, and we had the younger brother Brody Colley, and I think Dalton Colley's in the same Southern California Flat Track Association series. I think
Okay.
he's in it. Oh, and we went and saw him on Saturday at Camp Lockett, a little place out in Camp O'Hare, and he, for the first time, I think he has a Hoosier sponsor for his
Yep.
tires.
Yeah, they're new.
And he loved it. Like, people were asking Larry, what did you do to the motorcycle? We put Hoosier tires on it. And they're like, that's all?
Yeah, those I haven't ridden on those yet. We do have a local supplier now, so I definitely need to get a set to give them a shot. But they've been really pushing those now.
Oh, really?
Lately, yeah. Well, Dunlop did a pretty good job of cornering the market in the actual professional level, making it a spec tire and that sort of thing. But now you've got other people coming in, like Shinko Tires is one of them that I worked with or I ride on, and they're a much more budget-friendly tire.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
Well,
they
you don't
work.
need to be the most expensive tire in the garage. You really
Right.
don't need to.
Yeah, and they're great because for a guy like me who's
On
looking
a
for that
budget.
budget, they hook up well. I mean, I'm racing some pro level guys, and I have not felt that those are hindering my abilities in any way.
And you would know.
Yeah, I mean, I try to think I would.
Well, I mean, how many years you been running again?
Since I was about 12.
Yeah.
So, I mean, flat track, though, it's been about the last 3 years, 4 years.
You say budget, but you have big goals. I think you kind of announced 22.
Big goals,
You really
little
want to
budget.
go after some stuff.
I mean, obviously, I felt like there was some unfinished business in the road racing side. I grew up with some pretty big names in road racing, Cameron Bobier and JD Beach and those guys, and Josh Heron, and and competing with them pretty well. And so I'd like to do something on a national level, not necessarily saying I'm going to do a full national schedule, but I'd like to at least qualify. Yeah, put together a program and try to qualify for something,
Sure.
and if I can get the proper backing or something of that nature, then it might be doable.
Sure.
But just trying to find those people to come in and give you the help,
give you that.
and it's not always about money. It's also about the
chemistry too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to be able to fit. I tell everybody it's like a football team, baseball team. You can spend all the money in the world, but if you don't get the right people to gel together at the right time, you just wasted your time and money.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Let's take a quick break. We come back. One more segment with Kyle, our driver on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right. Well, we've been having all kinds of two-wheel fun today with our guest.
Kyle Ferris.
There you go. And you were going to ask him a question, I think, before we went to a break. Or before we do that, let's do what's the most important thing. Sponsors. Who you got?
So Fly Racing's been a big help. This year they provided some gear and hard parts for us and stuff that things that are consumables, as we like to call them. That was a huge help from them. Slick Products, always keeping the bike clean, presentable, that sort of thing.
Gotta do it.
Motion Pro, huge help in the tools and just the things that they make, man. The tools that they make things so much easier.
Are they made for motorcycling?
Yeah. 2 wheels, 4 wheels. I mean, they've got everything. I mean, they do have specialized like tools for specific jobs on a bike, but I mean, they've also got a handful of just regular tools, and they're just, beautiful in their machining and the way they look. So,
where are they made,
I know they're headquartered up in Sacramento, or just outside of Sacramento, like Roseville area.
I know Roseville area.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
what else you got?
We've got Fuel Clothing. They came on this year. I love their shirts. Their socks are fantastic.
Yeah, that's a big company.
Yeah, and then NLab Graphics. He's actually a local guy. He's an Italian out of Murrieta, Temecula area that I kind of connected with when I first came back down here.
All the decals.
Yeah, decals, number plates, that kind of stuff. Does seat covers, that sort of stuff. Great work. Really cool guy. And then Acherbis Plastics.
What do they do?
They create all the plastics for the bike, so the covers, all that stuff. So fenders.
So if you ever go down,
seats. You're
set.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got everything that you need. Now it's all about hard parts and the motor type stuff that
Brittany, he's
got
missing
fine.
something.
Food sponsor. Is
Yeah.
that what
Gotta
he
get a
always
food
says?
sponsor. Find your favorite food and go talk to him and say, help me out. I'm telling you, it works. Am I right? There's some sandwich shops in town and some Mexican restaurants in town.
Antonelli's sponsors, and so does
Oh, yeah.
Cheers. They're both really good sandwich spots.
Oh, my God. And it put the place on the map.
Really?
You can't get anywhere near there between 11 and 1.
Oh, wow.
I think Nick Novak was going after like pizza and bear or something.
Yeah, well, that's what he likes. He likes, and then sombrero for Chris Boyer when he raced at Cajon Speedway.
Oh, should you race on a big burrito?
It put so much.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, she almost ate what Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, halibut ceviche.
Halibut ceviche.
Yeah, thank you, Robert Peters,
I
for
think
the
I'd
offer.
be okay with that over a burrito, though.
I'll take both of them after the race.
So So what are you doing to say somebody's listening and they'd like to help you out?
I like this guy. I'd like to throw some money or hardware his way.
Maybe I can help the guy out.
Well, I mean, we're at Ferris Fam Racing on Instagram, and then we also have ferrisfamilyracing.com.
And that's Ferris.
Just like the wheel, yep.
There you go.
Yep. No connection.
Yeah, I got it.
But how many times have you said that, though?
Enough. Yeah.
Try stall for a car guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it works really well.
We have Bob Stall and Dave Stall and everyone. No,
and
we're not
everybody
brothers.
calls me Bob.
Oh,
I get called Bob more than I get called Dave. So Ferris Family Racing, and this could help out either you or your wife, because I'm sure she
And
could.
kids. Yeah.
And the kids.
Yep.
Do they race too?
Yep.
Truly a
They
family
just started
affair.
this year, too.
How old are they?
Through 4 and 5.
They're all coming down when Aaron is healed.
And then we'll put
Yes.
them all on KUSI. The
There
whole
we
family.
go. Yeah, for sure.
That'd almost like be a family photo.
It'd be a great Christmas card.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. We'll make it up right. So what are the little ones running? 50s?
Yeah. Our son's got a CRF 50, and our daughter, she kind of jumps back and forth between the Stasic and the TTR 50.
Oh, okay.
So and yeah, Stasics are really cool.
Weren't they a great invention?
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that.
I mean, super simple. Let's take an RC motor and stick it in a bicycle for a kid.
Yeah, and let them go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's helped immensely on their ability and
Balance.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't have to worry about, all of the heavy acceleration. They can concentrate on, well, it still accelerates, but they can concentrate more on the balance and the steering.
It's not as wide. That's the one
Right.
thing that I've noticed. And their feet can touch.
Yeah.
That makes a bit, like I had to shave my son's seat down for him to just barely tiptoe it
tippy
still.
toe.
Yeah. So,
well, he's probably going to grow pretty quick, pretty fast, so you don't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, he's definitely, oh man, those moments go by and you're like, holy cow, when did you get to my hip? When did you get past my
When
hip?
did you outgrow your
Holy cow.
gear?
Yeah, exactly.
There's the killer.
We had
Yeah.
a guest in, and during COVID, he outgrew his gear.
Oh, yeah.
The Medina family.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're not doing nothing but eating. Yeah, that's that. But that is so cool that you got the whole family and you guys all go to the track together.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is my dad's got a place out in Hemet that's got a little lot next door, so
Wow,
they just
that's heaven.
Yeah, just hop on the bike and go ride. So
And do they like to ride? Are they
Yeah.
like, can I ride? Dad, I want to ride.
no,
Okay,
they
not quite.
not quite yet in the terms of like, hey, let's go ride. They're more of like, let's go in the pool, especially right now when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
But normally, like if you said, hey, do you guys want to go riding?
Oh yeah,
They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to go say, I want to go get in the pool.
I still remember I vividly my first crash. I don't remember that much, but I remember the next weekend my dad putting the bike back in the back of the Pinto station wagon and saying, we're going to go again. That has left a lifelong impression on me that, when you fall, you get back up.
Oh yeah,
So keep it up, Dad.
yeah.
Stuck it
Because
in the back of a Pinto.
we had a Pinto station wagon with the wood panels on the side. It was red. I remember vividly, like, he's putting it back in there. I'm scared, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I just did it because that's what we're going to do. We're
Yeah.
going to get
well,
back on.
if not, it would have haunted you for life.
I just wouldn't have made the impression, which it did.
No, but it would have haunted you for life, whether should I have
I was
done it.
4. I would have forgotten.
Yeah, that's probably
But
true.
you're impressing right now
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your kids with this.
And then you could
So
hang
cool.
those school grades over their head.
Yeah, he always
Exactly.
said.
Well, it was definitely the racing side of things, or just even having that when I was growing up was a huge positive
Motivator.
to keep me from doing anything
Stupid and lose
well,
it.
Okay,
Wow.
that's
Some things.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, yeah. You were a boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not discount that. But you knew. I think probably if I keep my grades up, I can probably get screw
Oh,
up
yeah.
a little bit. But the grades were what mom and dad are looking for. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that also instills balance. It
Right.
shouldn't
So-
just be school.
So what do you do for a living?
So I work for a distributor actually out of Maine. It's called Automatic Distributors. They do power sports parts, motorcycles.
Oh, then how bad could it be?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it could be better, but
It's a great remote. So I get to do.
so you're
work
the West
throughout the
Coast.
day
You're the
and-
West Coast guy.
Yeah. Well, it's more IT on my side. So
Oh, you're the IT guy
kind of yeah. Sit in the sit behind the computer and tap away on keyboard
all day long,
all day long.
dreaming
it's
and riding.
very entertaining.
Yeah.
It's hard when you work around inside of a garage, and there's bikes and stuff behind
Yeah,
you. And
yeah.
you're like, man, I just want to go work on other things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, got to work harder, get more sponsors, get more money.
Yeah, someday.
Open your own shop.
Well, hey, the wife's working towards helping out on that side of things. So
Yeah, but can you imagine if you guys had your own, Ferris family service?
that's definitely a thought process,
Because I
that we've done.
guarantee you, if you're decent at what you do, I'm an old service manager. Okay,
Yeah.
30 years. If you're good at turning wrenches, you won't even have to advertise.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will.
Word of mouth.
How many guys or shops you know of that those are your go-to?
Oh, we worked. Well, I actually, before I moved down here, was working at turning wrenches at a shop up in Washington.
Yeah.
And it was,
Wasn't even work.
never had to think about, who's bringing a bike in. There was always people coming through the door needing something. And the best was when they'd bring you a box and a bike, and they go, well, I thought I could do this, or I wanted to try to do this, and I pulled up YouTube, and here you go.
I still can't do it. Yeah, and then, excuse me, where are all the parts? Well,
Yep.
those are all I had.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Then you got to do the inventory and figure out what's missing.
Yeah, and then say, okay, it's going to cost you this much money to fix it. Oh, my God, you're not going to charge me that much, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you going to feel sorry for me? No, I'm
Yep.
going to charge you extra because you did this to me.
Right. Well, and that's I saw a thing on Facebook one day that it was, you don't pay me for the 2 minutes it took me to do the job. You pay me for the 20 years it took me to learn how to do this
I
job.
think I
Thank you
saw
very
that
much.
too.
And that plaque should be above every service center.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
serious. Oh, no, I mean, we're going to go into a whole new show, but I had this one guy tell me, he says, I looked it up to rebuild my automatic transmission. Took 8 hours, and you did it in 3.
Yep.
And I said the same thing to him that you just said to me, And
Oh, yeah.
he paid his bill happily, and I says, plus I have a warranty,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so it's never, I totally get it. So anyway, it's great having you in. Definitely want to get the family down to KUSI. Sounds like somebody was recovering from an injury.
Yeah.
Oh, the leg.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I thought that was
good news
hers.
on her side. We just found out that the doctors that she originally had said it was going to take 6 months, and now it's 3. So,
Okay, all right.
so
well,
she'll be at the finishing round for the BTR program out in
Yay.
Charlotte.
Oh, that's great
I sent
news.
the picture to him, and he called.
I thought it was her.
He
Oh,
thought
no.
It was me. Well, did you read the whole thread, Dave?
Yeah, I know.
So I
Well,
have
it still didn't
directions.
make sense. So anyway, hey, thanks for coming in, buddy. We'll have you down the road for sure.
All right, thank you guys. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming in. I have directions for a more fun way home.
Oh,
there we go. Gun Owners
Yay.
Radio,
Dad.
right around the corner. Don't touch that dial. This is Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.